Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today it's crafting time, so I'm going to show you how I took some really cheap plastic skulls and made these really cool fun floral arrangements. So here you can see the pieces that I started with on the left, this like dark plastic skull and a wooden plaque, and then I just spray painted both of them white to begin with. Now you can just leave the skull white, which, is an option, but I just kind of like to make it a little more grungy than neat and clean. To me, that just seems more my aesthetic and fits really well with the idea of it being like floral and kind of dirty and, grown over with plants and everything. So to do that, I just mix black paint with some water to just kind of water it down a little bit. So here's an example. I would put the paint down somewhere and then take a paper towel and just dab around it so that it gets more of that grungy, imperfect, just kind of layer of gunk. You can use dark brown, light brown, black, gray, whatever you want. And then I just kind of put it into the areas where I think dirt would build up, so like the teeth and in the cracked parts. And even on the original skull, it has some like darkened spots, so I just kind of use that as a guide. Here I have the original on the left, the spray painted one in the middle, and then on the right I have the one that I grunged up a little bit, just so you can kind of see how each of them looks, maybe decide if you like one style better than the other. Again, I really like that kind of dirty, imperfect version of the skull instead, but if plain white fits your jam, go for it. The first project I'm going to go over is the succulent version. So again, I have this wooden base that I just spray painted white, and then I got some fake succulents at the craft store. I got one that was a bunch of little succulents and then one really, really large one. Now, unfortunately, the really large one just didn't fit very well because it was really tall and had a lot of layers. So I cut them all off except for like this more condensed top piece that you can see here. And then I just kind of put a hole at the base of the skull, and that's just where I'm going to kind of fit that big succulent piece in. You can tell it is not measured out at all. I just kind of went at it with a knife. And then I started placing those pieces that I cut off around the space there. And this way I can just kind of keep all of these little petals condensed and where I want them, and just decide how to have that placed on there. I don't know, it's a little tedious, but basically what I did is go around and just layer them on top of each other, but more condensed than the original piece. Then I added that main section of the succulent that I kept all together. Like I said, I just shoved that into the space there that I cut out of the skull. And then once that was in place, I could kind of see where I wanted to add even more of those petals and just kind of fill it in a little bit. Once I was happy with it, this is what it looked like. I was really glad that it was just more condensed and fit on the top of the skull just how I wanted, even though it was more effort. So after that, I just hot glued the skull to the base because it's super lightweight because it was really cheap in plastic. This just kind of keeps it in place. Once that was on there, I just sprinkled the smaller succulents around again and just glued them onto the base for a little extra flair. Once I did that, I was all done with this one. Some more ideas is to maybe add different flowers or maybe some bugs. I don't know. Other cool stuff. There's plenty of room on this plaque for you to add more things and just kind of get a little extra with your floral skull centerpiece. So this is the first version. For the second craft I got this nice little glass jar thing with a base, which again was wooden, and I spray painted it white just because those are the color schemes I'm going for. And I grabbed a bunch of my scrap fake flowers in various shapes and sizes. I took all of the tiny little pieces and little sprouts and deconstructed some of the larger flowers, and then just started hot gluing them into this little section because there's a space between the back of the skull and the jaw. And I just kind of started layering all of these fake flowers in that area. And I tried to space them out so that they were splaying out from underneath that in all sorts of directions, because the skull fits really tight into this little glass area. So basically I was going to have to shove all of it in there already put together. So that's all I did, is that I picked out some colors that looked really nice together, some small pieces, and here we go. This is my finished skull with the decor all around the base. So cute. For some finishing touches, I just found little pieces of leaves and folded them over and glued them onto the bottom just so I could have some greenery popping out between the flowers. Once it was all done and constructed, I could have just put it on a plaque like the other one. I think that would look really cute, and I might do that with my next project. But then I just had to shove that baby in to this glass jar. Luckily everything stayed put together, and then I just kind of had to maneuver him nice to sit in the bottom of it. And once it was all arranged, this is how it looked, and it fit in there really, really nice. So cute. I was really happy with how these turned out because I love skulls and all things a little creepy, but I also really like the light colors in my creative space. This is a great, great little piece for my creative room. Thanks everybody for watching. If you found this useful, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you give this a try, how it goes, or if you have any sort of suggestions or ideas on this project. Check out the other videos I have on my channel and maybe even subscribe. Stay creative, everyone.